Hello and welcome to another Glenn Mainly Talks Chelsea. A little bit late this week. I went to the game and just got back to Glasgow. So it got a bit messy and I don't know why after a draw. Perhaps I was drowning my sorrows, I don't know. Yesterday it was Chelsea won, Manchester United won and I tell you what, social media. I've had people asking me, DMing me, asking me what I think about certain things. So I'll try and answer all the questions that I've been given. Not that my opinion means a great deal to anyone, but people obviously want to know. So I'll tell them. Yeah. So yesterday, the word that I would use to sum up that match was frustrating. If I was a Manchester United supporter, I would be embarrassed. That team was representing my club. I saw it all yesterday. Time wasting from the first minute. 10 men behind the ball. And talk about dark arts. That Fred, he should have got booked 2 or 3 times for simulation. Touched the bloke and he's down. He must watch the TV back and be embarrassed. I know all players do it. They all play. I was watching an interview with Lampard saying that as soon as there's contact, you make the most of it because otherwise you don't get the free kick, which is probably says just as much about the refereeing as it does about the cheating side of the professional game. But they didn't have to do that yesterday because they had Anthony Taylor out there. Fred could have just gone down when he was fouled and he would have got plenty of attention. Anthony Taylor would have been waiting for a Chelsea player to put a foot wrong. Surprised he gave that penalty. You could see him thinking about it, thinking he was like that. Shocking. He let them get away with murder yesterday, absolute murder, and then Tuchel got booked. There's just no rhyme or reason behind it, is there? I'll go through the team first. We started off with Mendy in goal, and right we had James in the middle, Chalobah, Thiago Silva, Anthony Ruger, Marco Alonso on the left hand side. In the middle we had, because with Kante and Kovacic injured, we had Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now what you've got there, you haven't got an awful lot of running. You know, it's one of them instances where we could have done with Conor Gallagher back. You've got strength with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's getting pelters today. I don't know why. He's playing out of position. He's been playing great. I think it sums up a minority of our fan base who, after a draw with Man United, we're all disappointed. We should have won. They're up in arms. He's rubbish. They were the best players in the world against Juventus. Suddenly, he's rubbish. Oh, I've used the word cabbages in the past, but I think cabbages have got more about them than some of these people. I really do. And unfortunately, they're wearing blue nowadays. And then in front of them, we had Callum Hudson-Odoi. We had Ziyech and we had Timo Werner coming back from injury after a few minutes the other night up front. Now that's presumably because Lukaku's coming back from injury. We don't know how bad his injury actually was and what the physiotherapists and everyone are telling Tuchel to do to ease him back in. And we've got Kai Havertz coming back from injury. And we don't know what the doctors and the physiotherapists have said regarding getting him back in. So, there's a lot of unknowns that us supporters don't know, that some people just automatically factor in or factor out, whichever way you want to look at it. Yesterday, they sat behind the ball like they did against Tottenham and they broke. The United goal. I've seen people being called Jorginho haters today for saying that the goal was Jorginho's fault? Well, you must be looking at another Jorginho hater. I didn't think Jorginho had a bad game yesterday. He was being asked to do a lot of stuff that isn't part of his game. He's more of an accomplished passer. He's more of a guy that can dictate the pace of a game when he's playing in his right position. But as an out-and-out defensive midfielder, he lacks pace. He lacks the engine. And he probably lacks a bit of the football brain to play like a Kante or a Kovacic does. Yesterday, for me, he made one almighty stinking error. Do you know if that ball's coming down? I think Tuchel said how it come out of the lights. Do you know if that ball's coming down and you're not absolutely sure? You've got two players running onto you and you're not absolutely sure that you can bring that under control. Do you know what you do? In fact, do you know what you do anyway in that situation? You're the last line of defence. You're the last man. Why he was, I don't know. I know we'd gone forward, but maybe a little bit of, I don't know, not arrogance, but we weren't doing our jobs properly. He shouldn't have been left there on his own. Not against Sancho and Rashford. Now what he should have done is hoofed that, give it some Mickey Roy, stuck it in Rowe's head, but he didn't. Made an almighty cock up. I was a little bit fed up, I'm not going to lie, that he just stood there and watched as other players tried to catch him. He would never have got back to Sancho in a million years, don't get me wrong, but after I've made the balls up, I don't generally like to be a sightseer. I like to try and get back anyway. If Mendy holds the player up, who knows? You might have a bit more time than you think. So yes, it was one almighty cock up, and that doesn't make me, in my opinion, a Jorginho hater. But players are human beings, they do make mistakes, and yesterday was an almighty blunder, in my humble opinion. So that's one of the DMs out of the way. And no, I'm not a Jorginho hater. I thought it took big kahunas for him to go up and take that penalty after making that mistake. I like Jorginho in the right game, in the right position, doing the right job. He's probably one of the best in the world. So that's that out of the way. The second one is Timo Werner. Do I think time has run out for Timo Werner? I'm not going to lie. I love Timo Werner. You know, those that the 3 or 4 of you that watch all these vlogs, you know that I thought he would be a scoring sensation once he got his boots under the table in this country. And I have to start admitting that I think I'm wrong. But he does bring a lot to the side. He does bring a lot to the side. Probably better off playing on the wing or just behind a big man. He doesn't. His confidence looks shot in front of goal. Yesterday he should have had two. Let's not beat around the bush. A non-injured Lukaku or even a non-injured Havertz would have had a. You get Charlie Austin. Where's he nowadays? Reading, QPR, wherever he is. Austin would have stuck them away. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's just come back from injury, and I do love him as a player. I love his ethos. I love the work that he does for the side. But he is starting to rub on me a bit with his efforts in front of goal because he's a striker. He's a striker, and even if you're playing off the big man, you've got to be able to finish. And that was shocking yesterday. So there, I'm probably labelled as a Timo hater, and I'm not. I'm a Timo lover. I love him to bits, but you can't carry passengers if you're going to win a Premier League title. I'm sorry, and going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Once he gets a few more minutes under his belt this season, hopefully he'll prove all the haters wrong. So let's see. Ruben Loftus-Cheek yesterday played right out of position. Was asked to do a defensive role. I blame Tommy. Tommy got a lot of things wrong, in my humble opinion, yesterday. That was one of them. If I was going to play anyone there out of the players left, I'd have probably gone for Mason Mount. Just through sheer engine, the amount of ground he can cover during a game. So if I had to play someone right out of position, personally, it would have been Mount. I don't get paid the big bucks like Tommy does. He made the call. I think he got it wrong. Doesn't matter. I trust him, and he's human. He's going to make mistakes too. Ziyech. I'm losing faith in Ziyech. I thought he was actually really quite poor yesterday. Really quite poor. Didn't do his defensive duties. Had a chance at goal that was pretty bland, and someone will say, yeah, but his skill. On his day, trouble is, his day is like a leap year. But anyway, I'm not going to get on anyone's back specifically, because you win as a team, you lose as a team. Callum Hudson-Odoi didn't have his best game. He was direct. There was one opportunity there where he elected to shoot, and De Gea saved it. And Werner was screaming for it with virtually an open goal. That said, that's not a given, is it? Giving Timo an open goal. But he should have passed it. And 2 or 3 times yesterday, we, in my humble opinion, made the wrong last ball decision. So there we go. I'm just going to give the players their scores. I hope I've covered everything that I was DM'd on. If I haven't, contact me, and I'll and also give me your thoughts on what people have asked. What I will say is, why is everyone so down? We are top of the league in December, and yes, I know traditionally we have a sticky patch, but we've got players coming back from injury, and yesterday was frustrating. They set out to frustrate us, and they did. They've got some quality players. It's not as if we've just drawn 1-1 with the Wheat Sheaf in the Barnet Sunday League. They've got quality players. I know they've had a bad patch, but Ollie's gone, and they'll all be thinking, we've got to start producing the goods. We've got a new manager coming in. So you got a bit of that effect as well. And let's face it, Jorginho did cock up, and without that, their chances were few and far between, weren't they? There was a Mendy cock up, but they few and far between. They were absolutely awful, absolutely awful. So yeah, Mendy, I'm going to give Mendy a 7. Couldn't really do anything about the goal. It's one of them. If you stay on your feet, which he did as long as he could, but it's a 1-on-1, and Sancho finished well. Give us that dodgy moment where Fred fired straight into his arms. Mendy gets a 7 from me. Reece James yesterday did okay. Yeah, did okay. Wasn't his best game, not going to lie. Good going forward, as he always is. A few times he made the wrong decision with that last ball, as I was saying. He gets a 7.5 from me. Chalobah gets a 7.5. Did okay. Didn't have an awful lot to do defensively, really. The whole back four should have been back better out of that. I know we were attacking at the time when the geezer hoofed it, but when we give that goal away, I was disappointed there wasn't people back with Jorginho. I mean, you know, it's Sunday League football, isn't it? You leave a couple of geezers back, but it is what it is. Thiago Silva gets a 7.5. Rudiger gets a 7.5. Rudy had an open goal. He should have scored. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm getting frustrated we didn't win it. Alonso yesterday gets a 6.5. I thought he was absolutely pony yesterday. Absolutely pony. Can't help it. Again, not got a lot of game time. Not going to totally slag him off. Jorginho yesterday gets a 7.5. I know he made that cock up, but he didn't have a bad game. He was always looking to play it forward. Always, even after you made that. I tell you what, when you know a good player, even after he made that cock up, he always wanted the ball. Take my hat off to him for that. Ruben Loftus-Cheek yesterday gets a 6.5. Looked out of position. Looked as if he didn't really know what he was meant to be doing, which you can't often say under Tuchel. And just wasn't his day. Ziyech gets a 6 from me. I thought he was absolutely pony. Callum Hudson-Odoi gets a 7.5. Always looking to go forward. Thought he did okay, the lad. And can't really say that. I can't really comment on his defensive side of his game because he didn't have to. They just didn't want to know, did they? United, they were awful. When he did need to get back, he appeared to. Werner gets a 6 from me. Should have scored. Didn't get the service probably that would have allowed him to have a better game, but he's lacking in confidence. He's just back from injury. He gets a 6 from me. Tommy Tuchel. I'm not going to score the subs because they weren't on long enough. Tommy Tuchel gets a 6.5 from me because the subs were mild, in my humble opinion. Again, I don't get paid the big bucks. I'm not slagging Tommy off, not in any way, shape or form. That bloke knows more about, he's forgotten more about football than I've ever learned. But I thought, personally, he left it miles too late to bring them substitutes on. And what was the point of keep putting high balls in the air when you got Werner there? I don't get that. If you're going to do that, bring on Lukaku. I'm sure Lukaku would have scored yesterday. I'm sure he would have scored yesterday. They weren't any great shakes at the back. They weren't like Juventus in that first game we played against them, were they? But yeah, that was frustrating. But do you know what? We are top of the league. And we're in with a shout. It's going to be really, really hard to win that Premiership. And yesterday, it was 2 points thrown away. But please, those of you who think it's some sort of collapse, just have a bit of faith and give them a bit of support. It's it's as worse as it's been. People throwing their toys out the pram because we've just drawn. There's going to be a lot more disappointments this season and probably a lot more high points. And that's what supporting Chelsea or supporting anyone has always been about. So come on, let's get behind this team. Let's get behind Tommy. Let's all appreciate that they are human beings, even though they're paid an extortionate amount of money. It's a sin, really, and I'm not religious. But they're still human. So let's get behind them. Let's support them. Onwards and upwards. Got Watford this week. Old Claudio's side, Mr. Ranieri. Never forgiven him for that Monaco game. So let's hope our boys give him a right good clumping. Okay, onwards and upwards. Thanks for watching this. If you do watch these, subscribe. Give me your feedback. If you think I'm talking absolute rubbish, tell me. But tell me why. I got a DM that says, Glenn, you talk shite. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. Perhaps it was me mum in disguise. But tell me why. And tell me your thoughts on the game, because that's the reason I do these. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Up to Chelsea.